My Blu-ray collection, part 27. Apologies, I realised I recorded this whole video before I put my mic back in, so the sound quality might be a bit dodgy. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to part 27 of a look at my Blu-ray collection. So films, TV, comedy, music, documentaries, all sorts in here. Just no box sets, because I've already shown those, and by box sets that's multi-film box sets and multi-series TV series box sets. Let's carry straight on. So first up we have the magnificent Nymphomaniac, Lars von Trier's films, volumes 1 and 2. So this was originally a 5.5 hour film. He decided he'd cut it down to 2 films, volumes 1, volumes 2, that are about 2 hours each. But then there has been a director's cut release of a full 5.5 hour version, which I probably will get because I loved this film, or these films. Won't be to everybody's taste. It's basically the story of a nymphomaniac, Jo, played by Charlotte Gainsbourg as an older woman and Stacey Martin as a younger woman. Over the first 50 years of her life, and basically the relationships around her and how it's affected her life. Amazing piece of work, very controversial. It has explicit sex in it, the way they did it, allegedly, although there are some people who dispute this, was that the actors were shot simulating the sex, and then porn stars were used, and then they digitally put the porn stars' lower halves onto the actors' upper halves. Yeah, just amazing piece of work. As well as the 2 actresses I mentioned, Willem Dafoe, Stellan Skarsgård, Christian Slater, Uma Thurman. His name's just gone. He's one of the big roles in it. Shia LaBeouf, Sophie Kennedy-Clark. Just, yeah. As I say, won't be to everybody's taste, but it is amazing. Another really good. You'll find we're onto the back half of this shelf, so you'll find there's lots of this, which is in basically alphabetical order. Nowhere Boy. So this was the story of John Lennon growing up. Really good film, directed by Sam Taylor Wood, starring Aaron Johnson, who then married Sam Taylor Wood and is now Aaron Taylor Johnson, as Lennon. What's his name? It's not going to be on here, is it? Blokey from Love Actually and Game of Thrones, and I've met him, and his name is while I'm trying to find the name of the lad who plays Paul McCartney, which is really annoying me. So as you may know, if you know John Lennon's backstory, his mother, who's played by Anne-Marie Duff, left him with his aunt Mimi, played by Kristen Scott Thomas, because his mum wasn't the right person to be bringing him up. Then she was killed anyway. So it's, he had a very troubled childhood. Thomas Sangster plays Paul McCartney. David Morrissey's in it, David Threlfall. It's a really, really good film. Okay, technically this should be in with the box sets, but because it is only the size of a normal Arrow case at the moment, it is with everything else. This is the first 7 Nightmare on Elm Street films. It's on 4 discs, so the original film gets a disc to itself. That's got loads of extras. And disc 2 has got 2 and 3 with quite a few extras as well. Disc 3 has got 4 and 5, again plenty of extras. Disc 4 has got Final Nightmare and New Nightmare, and then it's got a 5th disc with over 3 hours of special features. So there's loads of special features dotted across this. I had number 3 on VHS. I'd seen number 1 before I owned this, but I hadn't seen any of the others. I enjoy 1, 3, and New Nightmare most. The others are okay, but they're certainly the 3 best ones. Yeah, very good. This is the new incomplete. Which way around? Yeah, the new incomplete, complete and utter history of Britain. So the start again. The Complete and Utter History of Britain was a TV series written by Michael Palin and Terry Jones before Python, and it was basically a history show, but as if it was being made for TV. So it's, you know, for example, they interview William the Conqueror as if he was a footballer in a post-match bath, you know, and he's, you know, so how do you feel it went, you know, and him and the lads are in the bath and the reporters just on the side interviewing him, and various other things. So this was released in 2013. Everything that still existed, basically, loads of extras. The first 2 episodes are the only 2 that still exist in full, and it's got 2 edits of them. It's got the broadcast edit, and then because it was the original tapes they found, they got deleted stuff as well, so it also has recorded edits as well. But yeah, loads of extras on this. Can be very funny at times. I mean, it was a children's show, so it lacks a bit of the edge of Python, but yeah, very enjoyable. Never Say Never Again, the unofficial Bond movie, Sean Connery returning to a role in 1983. I've always enjoyed this film. It's basically a remake of Thunderball for legal reasons. So, Ian Fleming's novel of Thunderball was based on TV scripts that were written for a potential James Bond TV series that never happened. Fleming adapted them into the novel. Unfortunately, he didn't seek for permission of the other writers, so he got sued. The rights reverted to Kevin McClory, who I think was producer of the TV. I don't think he was actually one of the writers. I think he was one of the producers on the TV series. So he had the rights purely to the novel of Thunderball. So when Eon made the Thunderball film, they did it in partnership with Kevin McClory. But then, I think with 10 years or something where he wasn't allowed to make another version. But then in the mid-70s he started trying to make another version, which went under various names, one of which is Warhead. And eventually he managed to persuade Sean Connery to reprise the role. And as I say, it's basically the same plot as Thunderball, just updated a bit for the 1980s and for a slightly older Bond. The title was suggested by Diane Cilento, Sean Connery's wife, because, you know, at the end of, he'd come back, he left after You Only Live Twice, Lazenby did On Her Majesty's, then he was persuaded to come back for Diamonds Are Forever, and after that he said never again, so Never Say Never Again became this. But yeah, I'd just say I enjoy it a lot. The music's terrible. The direction's okay, directed by Irvin Kershner, who also did Empire Strikes Back. And the script's fine, and there's some funny moments in it, because part of the script's done by I'll read his own pet, the Lightly Lads. Ian Lefrenier and... Oh, come on, Martin. Dick Clement and Ian Lefrenier. I think that's right. Anyway, them. They did a lot of script editing on it and punched in some jokes. I think the main reason I enjoy it a lot is Kim Basinger and Barbara Carrera. This is Never Let Me Go, based on the novel by Kazuo Ishiguro. So Kerry Mulligan, Keira Knightley, Andrew Garfield are teenagers in this English boarding school, and it turns out that they're actually clones being raised to be organ donors, and they find this out, and so they escape basically, because Andrew and Kerry have fallen in love. Really great film, excellent performances. My Bloody Valentine 3D. This is old school 3D, as in you got glasses, red and blue glasses, or red and green glasses with it. It's also got a 2D version on here as well. But it's a lot of fun. I primarily got this just for the novelty of the 3D, really. It's a remake of the horror film from late 70s, early 80s, I think it was. So, the town of Harmony would like to forget its horrific past. 10 years ago, after a tragic mining accident, Henry Warden awoke from his coma on Valentine's Day and brutally murdered 22 people with a pickaxe before killing himself. Now, after years of peace, as a killer on the loose, again wearing a miner's mask and brandishing a pickaxe, has Harry Warden returned from the dead. It's your typical slasher film, really, but it's a lot of fun. Quantum of Solace. So I also have this in the Bond 50 box set. When I upgraded to Blu-ray, I bought the Bond films as they came out. Then the box set came out, which had everything up to and including Quantum. But, you know, I'm a collector. I keep these anyway. One of the weakest Bond films, and I'm a big Bond fan, as you can probably tell from my waffling on Never Say Never Again. Yeah, I think the biggest problem with it is the direction. Mark Forster should never have been given a Bond film to direct. He's not a Bond director, and it's just all cut within an inch of its life, and it makes it very difficult to follow. And the overall plot's a bit weak. Performances are fine, but yeah, one of the weakest Bond films. A couple more. Purple Rain. So I have already shown this as part of a Prince movie collection box set, but this is the individual release that I already had. If you know my channel, you know how I feel about Prince. He is my favourite artist of all time. Purple Rain was the album that got me into him, and once I had the album, one of the first things I did was buy the film on VHS. I absolutely loved it, and still love it to this day. It was in my video showing my top 10 films of all time. And finally, for this part, we have The Purge. So this was the first Purge film, which I got primarily as Lena Headey's in it. So if you're not familiar, The Purge is basically, there's a law that one night a year, there's a 12-hour period where everything's legal. Murder, you know, rape, whatever, theft, it's all legal. So this family lock themselves in, but then they get a visit, and it's the terror of the night, basically. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I haven't watched any of the sequels because Lena's not in them. I might pick them up at some point, if I do a box set, I can get it really cheap. But yes, that's it for this part. Thank you for watching. Past parts are on the playlist, future parts are on the playlist. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.